Hey, what do you do when you're running for political office, but you have absolutely no political positions that you're actually trying to promote, other than the fact of your gender, ethnicity, and the fact that, well, you're attached to an administration that literally broke everything that was working. You're boat anchored to that. You took laps claiming victory while it was happening, that you were just as much a part of the decision making as the person at the top. But now all of a sudden, you want to completely distance yourself from all of it because it's failing to the point that it was absolutely tanking the person that was running for the job, that was actually elected during a primary to run for that job. A coup pushes that person out of your way. You get the job, and the only thing on your actual website is ways to give you money and actually no positions on anything. So what do you do when you find yourself like that? Well, if you're Camilla thinks she's a hottie Harris, you just simply take one of Donald Trump's positions and you make it your own.
Because when I get to office, we are going to not charge taxes on tips, people making tips.
Eliminate taxes on tips for service and hospitality workers.
Really? No tax on tips, and it's your idea that you got from Donald Trump. Very interesting.
Let's get ready to rumble! You can't handle the truth.
Hi, I'm Pastor Marty, and this is the Afternoon Drive. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure that you are a subscriber to the channel. And if you've already subscribed in the past, you need to check it again. From time to time, YouTube likes to help us do some spring cleaning that we never ask them to do. And periodically, like if you haven't watched my videos in the last, 18 or 30 seconds, YouTube will go in and cancel your subscription to this channel. Isn't that nice of them? So make sure that you are still subscribed. Once you are, smack the bell, click the word all. That'll give you a notification of my rants, my ravings, my undeniably flawless reasonings. Please like and share this video. That's the only way that we can get the word out that we're here. It's one of those little services YouTube just won't provide for us. So please do everything that you can to help spread the word. We don't charge you anything for this channel. I don't hit you up for donations. There's no other website that I send you to give money to me. I'm not trying to sell you anything. I just want to give you information. All I ask in return is help us spread the word that we're here. Thank you, and welcome to the Afternoon Drive. So it's been almost a month since Kamala got the promotion, the, if you will, coronation as the Democratic presidential candidate. Now, I know a lot of you are getting really nervous because you're getting really black-pilled by the lying legacy corporate corrupt mainstream media regarding the overwhelming popularity of Kamala Harris. While it's like somebody flipped a switch and that literally we're supposed to believe that this woman, who was polling lower, believe it or not, lower than Vice President Dick Cheney. And you got to really be a colossal screw up to do that, because Dick Cheney literally shot a guy in the face who then had to come out and apologize that he walked in front of Dick Cheney. You can't make that stuff up. Dick Cheney, one of the biggest war profiteers ever, is more liked, or was more liked as a vice president than Kamala Harris. The reason people hate Kamala Harris is she's not authentic. Everybody, including the people of color, know she's not authentic about her story, about her biography, about who she is. And she got everywhere that she has arrived to because somebody else put her there. She became a DA by sleeping her way to the bottom. She became the vice president, not because she actually garnered any votes. In fact, When she was running in the Democratic primary, she got out because she was polling at less than 3% in her own home state, less than 1% nationally. So she got out. Joe Biden picked her as the DEI VP. And you get all these people that are losing their minds over referring to Kamala as DEI. But yet they're constantly trying to ram DEI down our throat as a good thing. Diversity, equity, inclusion. No, Kamala literally is a DEI vice president. Did not earn it. She didn't earn it. She didn't earn it, and she certainly didn't earn becoming now the Democratic nominee. Nobody in a primary voted for her. Nobody. But all the Joe Biden electoral promises were now committed to Kamala in a virtual meeting. It's the only way Democrats can win anything. It's got to be virtual. It's got to be electronic. It's got to be from a distance. Mail it in. You know. And I have to be careful what I say here, or I get the little blue box under this video, courtesy of YouTube. Remember, the same people that told us Russia collusion, the same people that told us the Hunter laptop was disinformation, the same people that told us Joe Biden was cognitively intact, this was the best Joe Biden ever, that he's mentally with it. These are all the same people, the same narratives, the same voices, i.e., the political ruling class and the media, are now telling you, Shazam Batman, that Kamala has immediately become the hottest woman on the planet that every guy wants to get with. Don't tell that to AOC. She thinks that every Republican guy wants to get with her. And we don't want her getting jealous of the new top of her ticket. Camilla thinks she's a hottie Harris. So don't even look at the polls right now. Now, I'm not saying all the polls are lying. I am saying that the polls right now are reflective of this gaslighting. See, the thing is, most people really don't know that much about Kamala. There's only a few of us that really follow politics in depth, and we can talk about, all of the things that she has said and all of the gaffes that she has made and the word salad and the cackle laugh at all of the wrong times, like laughing about, the Afghan withdrawal and Americans dead, and laughing about when she was a district attorney arresting and locking up the parents of delinquent students because somehow the delinquency was the parents' fault, and she just would laugh about this kind of stuff. I mean, Kamala is not a well-liked or well-respected person, but now all of a sudden she's, quote, the it girl. And you're getting this nonstop fanning, fawning, and look at the thousands she's drawing to through free rap concerts. They're paying people to go to her meetings. They're bussing in the homeless like they did in Atlanta. And then when she is going into arenas, like, 15, 16,000 seat arenas, she's not filling them. Not filling them at all. In fact, the most she's ever done is about 3/4 full. That's it. Okay, 12,000 people. That's more people than would go to a Joe Biden meeting. Got it. But it's not full, and they never seem to point out that not only does Donald Trump fill the inside of every arena he goes to, but there's always another 20 or 30 or 40,000 people waiting and standing outside and watching him on a jumbotron, and they just want the experience of being at a Trump rally, even if they can't get into the actual building to hear him speak for about an hour and a half, and you arrive hours early just to stand outside and watch him on a jumbotron for an hour and a half. Media never talks about that. Meanwhile, Kamala, if she hasn't got some black rapper up there twerking and, being vulgar and obscene, she draws no one. And after the entertainment and whatever the entertainment of the evening is does their thing, Kamala only speaks for about 30 to 40 minutes. That's it. And notice she's giving the exact same speech because we're getting the exact same sound bites over and over and over and over and over. And I said last week, what Donald Trump needs to do is flush her out. Make Kamala come out of hiding and speak, because without a teleprompter, she can't. She can't give interviews. She can't do it. And you've got now the media. On the one hand, there are some members of the media that want to know, where is Kamala? Why is she not answering questions?
She's going to take questions. We're going to make sure of that. But, there's been a bit of a honeymoon period. I think she's giving Tim Walz a moment.
Let me just also say this. Don't nobody care but us about somebody
That's not
taking
true.
questions. No, that is very true.
I speak to swing state voters all the time.
But
they have questions, they want answers.
No. But yes, they have questions, they want answers. But you know what doesn't have to happen? Audie doesn't have to ask those questions.
Yes, Audie does have to ask those questions.
Political does not.
Because when fans ask them, Bakari, when friends ask them, when surrogates ask them, they're not getting the real answer. That's why Audie needs to ask them.
This is so in the Beltway.
No, it really isn't. I'm telling you, Bakari, I speak to swing state voters every single day.
But then you have other members of the media, like Lawrence O'Donnell over at PMSNBC, saying, no. We don't want her out there answering questions. There's no reason for her to have to answer questions. And the only ones who want her to answer questions are MAGA people, and MAGA people are maggots and must be crushed and must be destroyed.
Anyone who then tells you that Kamala Harris has to answer questions from reporters because Donald Trump already answered questions from reporters is lying to themselves and to you, and you must not allow them to do it. Please crush them on social media.
I never thought I would say this. Never thought I would say this. But here's a little blast from the past. I never thought I would say, where are the Dan Rathers? Where are the Dan Rathers who, could get kind of rude and obnoxious even with presidential figures, because they believed that it was journalistic responsibility to speak truth to power. Now we know that Dan was a flaming liberal, and that he would certainly rather get a George Bush in a gotcha question than try to get a Bill Clinton in a gotcha question. But nonetheless, even Dan Rather, if he were chairing the CBS Evening News right now, would be saying, okay, we're 3 weeks into the so-called Kamala campaign, and she hasn't done a sit-down interview with anybody, and we all know she's going to get softball questions. We know that. And the fact that her team isn't even letting her take softball questions tells you how erroneously bad she is at this. They know they're going to get a cackle moment. They know she's going to speak in word salad. They know she's going to say something that they're going to have to go out and fix literally minutes after the interview has aired. They know it. So what they're trying to do is keep her away from all of that, keep her only in scripted environments, like trying to paint the picture that her crowds rally a Trump rally and that America adores her, and they want to see her as like kind of this funny hipster mom type figure, when in reality, she's a nasty individual. And they're hoping to gaslight and blackpill you to the point that you start believing all of this euphoricness. The truth is, they could be doing this with a chair right now. Ronald Reagan once said that he never doubted the ability of the American people to do the right thing. But I'm going to be honest with you, that was a different time. I was on radio in Orlando, Florida, doing daytime talk radio. And it was there that I realized I never underestimate the ability of half of the American people to do the stupid thing. And do I think half the people are taken in by Kamala right now? Yeah, I do. But if Donald Trump will keep putting the pressure on her, yeah, get her to commit to those 3 debates. You know she's not gonna. And that puts the Kamala team in a lose-lose situation. Trump finally accepted her invitation. It was really an invitation to debate Joe Biden on ABC, but nonetheless, he accepted it, and then he threw out 2 more at her. Well, if she says no, it makes her now look like the coward and running away from Donald Trump. Very interesting. So we'll see. And they know she can't really debate. They know she can't. Look, Tulsi Gabbard absolutely dismantled her. Then you have the fact that she's got, the most flaming socialist libloon on the planet as her running mate now. This Governor Walz that they're trying to portray as this Midwestern dad. Well, let me tell you something. I spent some time in the Midwest. 4 years while I was in Bible college in Northwest Indiana, and 7 years as a pastor in Bowling Green, Ohio, just outside Toledo. Baby, you don't get any more Midwest than that. And I can tell you right now, I knew a lot of Midwestern dads. None of them like a Governor Walz, who on the one hand claims to be a minivan driving, hunting kind of guy who loves endless gun control, has spoken out on outlets like CNN and PMSNBC over his disdain for the First Amendment, that the freedom of speech is not guaranteed. That is something that has been twisted out of context. As governor, he gave us some of the most outrageous, egregious lockdown mandates, lockdown churches from worship. But the gentlemen's clubs, the strip clubs, they could be open, but you can't go worship God. I mean, his wife talking about love the smell of burning tires during the George Floyd riots. Really? You love that smell? As cities in your state are being burned to the ground, businesses being burned to the ground, people losing their livelihoods, losing their life savings as their business goes up in flames, but you like that smell. I mean, this is the Kamala team. And America's got to know that. So as she tries to distance herself from Joe Biden, and she's trying, let's remember that it was the Biden administration that launched thousands of new IRS agents to go after people for their wages and tips that they weren't declaring.
The IRS is floating a new program to better track tips in the service industry. Under the Service Industry Tip Compliance Agreement, restaurants, bars, food delivery, and other establishments where workers earn money from tips would voluntarily participate. The new program would facilitate the agency's monitoring and taxing efforts of the service industry, which currently requires workers to simply declare what they earn.
Right now, most relying on gratuity for an income make woefully less than minimum wage, a point Republican Congressman Thomas Massie poked at in a tweet, saying, quote, "How many waiters and waitresses are making more than $400,000 per year, Mr. President?" A reference to Joe Biden's commitment not to raise taxes for anybody earning over that amount of money. Implication being that this IRS change in policy will, in fact, amount to a constructive tax on these lower wage workers.
Yeah, I don't think anyone wants to see, not my libertarian self, not your left progressive self, wants to see the IRS focus more of its attention on tipped workers or anyone of that sort. That had a very sinister sound, tipping compliance authority type deal. I mean, this is exactly the complaint that I have raised and a lot of other people on this show, that give the IRS more resources and they're going to target waiters and waitresses and Uber drivers and people of that nature.
But now, Mama Kamala wants to not tax those. Where did she get that idea? Oh yeah, Donald Trump.
Because when I get to office, we are going to not charge taxes on tips, people making tips.
Eliminate taxes on tips for service and hospitality workers.
You've got Kamala Harris out there now saying she's going to be tougher on the border than Donald Trump. Wait, what? Kamala, who said she hadn't even been to the border, but I haven't been to Europe either. Her running mate, Governor Walz, has said that if Donald Trump builds a 20-foot wall, he'll invest in a 30-foot ladder company so that the illegals can climb the wall. Now, all of a sudden, Kamala is saying she's going to crack down on the wall. Why? Because the polls are telling her the American people want a wall and they don't want all these illegals here. So she's not doing it out of any sense of conviction. She's doing this out of desperation. And by the way, when you start copying other people's platforms, you're desperate because you know where the real support lies. What especially the independent voters want. And it isn't woke walls, it is a return to common sense. When she's out there talking about, I know prices are still too high, we're going to bring them down. Whoa, whoa, whoa. It was your policies with Joe Biden that raised everything and made it all outrageous. Now we're supposed to let the people that broke it fix it? Give me a break. Get out of the way and bring in the guy that we had the most robust economy, had the lowest unemployment, had the highest employment, the highest business investment, the lowest interest rates, the lowest gas prices, the lowest prices on consumer goods. That all happened under Donald Trump. Let's bring him back. We have to keep on point and on message. Don't get gaslit and blackpilled and discouraged by the polls. Let this information catch up to the American people. And the best way we can do that is demand that she speak, that she sit for interviews, get her out there, get her talking, because the more she talks, even with a teleprompter in front of her, she can't help herself. You can call it Freudian slips. You can call it literally the act of God exposing her for who and what she is before the entire world. But what we can't let her do is hide in the bunker and let Hollywood and the mainstream media work together to create a fictitious image of her. Because yes, half the country will fall for it. We can't let that happen.